Can you believe there are beaches where, when night falls, sparkling blue lights cover the shore like millions of diamonds? Or rivers with vivid colors that flow like a living rainbow across the land? In this world, some places have natural beauty and wonders that will leave you amazed, surpassing even your wildest imagination. Picture a vast salt flat that turns into a giant mirror reflecting the starry sky, or step inside a glittering cave that feels like you have wandered into the Milky Way with countless twinkling lights surrounding you. In today's video, we will explore 12 locations featuring the most unbelievable natural phenomena that you simply cannot miss. If you are curious about where these places are and what makes them so magical, stay with us until the end of the video. And do not forget to hit the subscribe button to keep up with our next adventure. Number 12. The Pink Lake in Senegal. Lake Retba, also known as the Pink Lake, in Senegal is famous for its vibrant pink color. This hue is caused by the presence of halophilic bacteria that thrive in the lake's extremely salty water. These bacteria produce red carotenoid pigments to absorb sunlight and protect themselves from intense solar radiation. When the sunlight hits the lake, these pigments give the water a deep pink color, especially during the dry season when the salt concentration is higher. The color of Lake Retba can vary from light pink to dark pink and even turn bright red at times, depending on the time of year and weather conditions. During the rainy season, when water levels rise, the lake's pink color can fade as the salt concentration decreases. In contrast, during the dry season, as water evaporates and the salt content increases, the pink hue becomes more intense. The surreal landscape of the lake, with its pink water reflecting the blue sky, creates stunning and unforgettable photographs. Number 11. Ice spires in Chile and Argentina. Ice spires are natural formations found mainly in high, cold mountain regions, such as the Andes in South America, especially in Chile and Argentina. Known as penitentes, these sharp, elongated ice structures can range from a few inches to over 16 feet tall, which is 5 meters. They resemble spikes or blades standing upright on the snow and ice surface. This phenomenon occurs due to the combination of strong sunlight, dry air, and sublimation, where ice changes directly from solid to gas without melting into liquid water. As the sunlight hits the snow's surface, the depressions start to sublimate first, creating deeper grooves that gradually form tall, white ice spires, closely packed together like a forest of ice. These structures point towards the sky and can look like rows of soldiers or lively sculptures. Especially beautiful at sunrise or sunset when the sunlight glints off them. Number 10. Firefall in Yosemite National Park, United States. The Firefall at Yosemite National Park in the United States is actually a seasonal waterfall called Horsetail Fall that flows down from El Capitan. When the sunset light hits the waterfall at just the right angle, the water reflects a bright red-orange light, creating a stunning visual effect that looks like a stream of lava flowing down the cliff. This phenomenon only lasts for about 10 to 15 minutes each day and occurs for just a few days in February, when all natural conditions like water flow, light angle, and weather are perfect. The firefall contrasts sharply with the surrounding scenery. When the waterfall glows bright red, it stands out against the cool gray of El Capitan's rock face, creating a mystical and splendid scene. However, the phenomenon is highly dependent on the weather. If it is cloudy, snowy, or if there is not enough water, the firefall will not appear, making it a rare and lucky sight. You won't miss out on the next exciting discoveries. Number 9. Uyuni Salt Flats, Bolivia. During the rainy season, the Uyuni Salt Flats in Bolivia are covered by a thin layer of rainwater, turning the flat into a giant mirror that perfectly reflects the sky, making the boundary between the sky and the land seemingly disappear. This creates a surreal landscape unmatched anywhere else on Earth. In the dry season, the salt flats reveal natural hexagonal patterns formed by the crystallization of salt, stretching endlessly and evoking the surface of a distant planet. The perfectly flat surface of the salt flats also creates optical illusions, making objects or people appear as if they are floating in infinite space. There are also small salt islands, like Isla Incahuasi, where giant cacti, hundreds of years old, grow in the midst of the White Salt Sea, creating a strange and fascinating contrast. Number 8. Moving rocks and singing sand in Death Valley, United States. In Racetrack Playa, a dry lakebed in Death Valley, large rocks seem to move across the surface on their own, leaving long trails behind them. Scientists have discovered that, on very cold nights, water on the lakebed can freeze into a thin sheet of ice. As the sun rises and the ice begins to melt, gentle winds can push the rocks to slide across the muddy surface, leaving tracks behind. The singing sand phenomenon occurs when sand moves, creating unusual sounds, resembling singing or music. The sound is caused by friction between sand grains as they slide under the weight of a sand dune or are blown by the wind. The sand must have a specific grain structure, be dry, and contain silica to produce the sound. The dunes in Death Valley are one of the few places in the world where singing sand can be heard. Number 7. Hexagonal rock columns in Ireland. The hexagonal rock columns in Ireland are a famous geological formation known as the Giant's Causeway, located on the north coast of County Antrim, Northern Ireland. This area consists of approximately 40,000 basalt columns with natural hexagonal shapes, creating a unique and impressive landscape. The Giant's Causeway was formed about 60 million years ago when a massive volcanic eruption caused molten lava to flow over the surface. As the lava cooled and contracted, cracks appeared, creating almost perfectly hexagonal columns. When sunlight shines on the columns, especially at sunrise or sunset, they reflect light and produce magical color effects, making the scenery even more enchanting. When the tide comes in, seawater covers the lower parts of the columns, creating streams and foam between the cracks. Number 6. Petrification phenomenon in Lake Natron, Tanzania. Lake Natron in Tanzania has the ability to petrify creatures that fall into its waters. The cause is the lake's extremely high alkalinity, with a pH of 9 to 10.5, almost as caustic as ammonia, and a high concentration of sodium carbonate. When animals, such as birds or bats, come into contact with the lake water, the minerals in the water can cover their bodies, making them appear petrified in lifelike positions. The creatures are encased in a hard, dry mineral layer, giving them a stone-like appearance. However, the process does not actually turn the body to stone. It simply encases it in a hard mineral shell. Despite the harsh conditions, Lake Natron is home to some unique species, such as the lesser flamingo. Additionally, the lake's water can turn red or orange due to the growth of halophilic bacteria and salt-loving algae, particularly spirulina, which contains red or orange pigments. Number 5. Spotted Lake in Canada. Spotted Lake in British Columbia. Canada is famous for its hundreds of colorful circular spots that appear on the lake's surface during summer when the water evaporates. These spots are formed from the crystallization of minerals like calcium, sodium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, and other trace minerals present in the lake. Depending on the minerals and the level of evaporation, the spots can be white, yellow, brown, green, orange, or red. The spots change in color and shape constantly, creating a unique and ever-changing natural artwork. On hot summer days, some larger spots may float on the water's surface due to mineral crystallization, making the scene even more extraordinary. Number 4. Glowing beaches in the Maldives. The glowing beaches in the Maldives, also known as the Sea of Stars, are a spectacular natural phenomenon caused by bioluminescent marine organisms, mainly dinoflagellates. These organisms emit light when disturbed by waves or movement, creating shimmering blue lights on the water and the sand. The glowing beach appears like a galaxy under the ocean, magical and mesmerizing. Walking along the shore at night feels like leaving glowing footprints behind, making the scene unforgettable. The glowing waves in the darkness create an impressive and rare sight, often described as one of the most beautiful experiences in the Maldives. Number 3. The Northern Lights in the Arctic. The Northern Lights occur when electrically charged particles from the sun collide with the Earth's magnetosphere. When these particles interact with the atoms and molecules in the atmosphere, they emit light. The result is a dazzling light show with colors ranging from green, pink, red, and purple to yellow, often appearing at night in regions near the Arctic. Besides the northern lights, the Arctic also has other unique natural phenomena, such as the midnight sun, when the sun does not fully set in summer, causing daylight to last 24 hours. Conversely, during winter, the Arctic experiences a polar night, when the sun does not rise for weeks or even months. Number 2. Glowworm Caves in New Zealand. The glowworm caves in New Zealand are renowned for thousands of glowing glowworms inside, creating a mesmerizing scene like a starry night sky. These lights come from the species Arachnocampa luminosa, a glowworm unique to New Zealand. The glowworms live in the damp caves and emit a bluish glow to attract prey, such as small insects. Inside the caves, thousands of tiny lights sparkle on the ceiling, creating a mysterious and dreamy atmosphere. Visitors can experience a boat ride on the underground river in the cave, listening to the silence of nature while admiring the blue lights reflecting on the water. Number 1. The River of Five Colors in Colombia. The River of Five Colors in Colombia, often called the Liquid Rainbow, displays vibrant colors like red, yellow, green, blue, and black. This beauty comes primarily from an aquatic plant called Macarinia clavigera, which lives on the riverbed. When the conditions of light, temperature, and water level are right, the plant turns bright red, blending with the green algae, yellow sand, and blue water. The best time to visit the River of Five Colors is from June to November, when the water level is high enough for the plants to thrive, and sunlight can reach the riverbed. From the colorful sky in the Arctic to sparkling beaches and caves, each of these wonders carries a unique beauty and mystery, urging us to explore and admire. If you love these marvels and want to discover more, hit the subscribe button to continue our journey through the world's wonders that Mother Nature has gifted us.